times. Now, l'chum, it's only what you call a stringency, but it's not something that is obligatory. And just like we say you should only do the bare minimum of the amount of the area, so also the amount of times that you wash should be the bare minimum. Since that the amount is 3 times, it's brought down. So why do we allow you to do 4? However, Shmuel says, you can't make the comparison to the amount of times to the area. The dafki b'nigeru chitz ad ha'perek machmim shalichutz yosim min adin afsharogel b'kach. Only to the knuckles do we say that you can't do more. The husband shirochitz ad ha'perek havruchitz chadosh. That's like a brand new washing each time. Ubezela shirinin. How beneath and be done. But in our situation, this is a very, very, what you call dakistic distinction, very, very thin distinction. Our case, the amount of times, you're just doing it one extra time. It's like one, you're doing it 2 times, but it could be done also 1 time. You can do a long ruchitza and a short ruchitza. Therefore, we're not so stringent about this. Okay. Again, this was Negelbas in the Tilas Yadayim first thing in the morning. In Hittel Mayim, let's say you went to use the facilities, be it for whichever reason, that you had to urinate, like Asim Tzracha, or you had to take care of business in full. You only go until the knuckles. Again, people wash their hands after using the facilities. When they do it, they do it 3 times before you make the Ashi Yotzah. You can do it on Tisha B'Av as well. Now, where do we get this? It's because of Hamogen Avrah, because of the Sefer Heichel HaKodesh. This is all year round. Hayotzim Bebeis Hakisei, a person who comes out of the restroom, Sorach Laris Alem Gimel Tom. You have to wash your hands, each hand 3 times. V'chein hu b'zoy. V'yedavke b'ruach rad shachris Amri Beis Chayrin Bas Chayrin Hi Makbedes Al Gimel Tom. In Kain Ryan is Zoyah. The Zoyah, when he brings it down, he talks about a Ruach Ra. The Ruach Ra those you don't have to. On the Ein Shai Tshuva, we come up to Yesh Machmir al Asbam Kamashikosim B'Shem Matzik Rocha Rabbana Kishishoy Haba Avda Hoklich Gimel Pam Achitz Yosef Beis Akisei, that they were machma, the elder rabbis, to do the washing of the hands after using the facilities and coming out of the restroom. The reason why we have to do 3 times is because it's like a nether. Meaning, a lot of times, when you do something, it's a David Shebekadusha. You take it upon yourself. Chumrah, you continue doing it. So over here also, you took upon yourself to wash 3 times all the time, so therefore we allow you to do on Tisha B'Av 3 times. And it makes a difference. Let's say you take upon yourself a chumrah. I'll give you an example. Not to eat gebrooks on Pesach. If you take it upon yourself, then the halacha is that if you want to afterwards change, because let's say you took upon yourself not to eat gebrooks, and then you get married to someone whose parents eat gebrooks, and you go and you have to go to your in-laws for Pesach, and they eat gebrooks. So what do? So you can say, you know, I don't eat gebrooks, and there might be a fuss, or you can go and when you're by your in-laws, be mataneder. Some people do that. They're mataneder, and they don't They have 3 people sit down, and you have a bezdin. You tell the bezdin, I took it upon myself, but now, because of circumstances, I don't know if I'll fulfill it, and they go and say shloishin dayimana, 3 hediyos. You say mutalach, and you get out of the pickle, right? However, there's a story talking with Rabbi Yaakov Kamenetsky, that he didn't eat gebrooks, even though his family did eat gebrooks, because he once went to visit someone, and that person during Pesach was Kalamoy, and that person wanted to give him food, and he wasn't sure exactly if they have the same stringencies. So he offered him, and he didn't want to insult him. So he says, "I can't, because I eat gebrooks. I don't eat gebrooks," even though he did eat gebrooks. So from then on, he stopped eating gebrooks because he told that person, "I don't eat gebrooks." So he stopped doing it. So each one a minute. But if you change your minute, you have to be mataneda. That's why a lot of times people come to me, I want to put on a gatl. Can I put on a gatl? So I tell them you can put on a gatl, but the first time you put it on, you say you're doing it on understanding that you're not being makabel on yourself for all time. Because if you do it without thinking that, it's as if you say for all time you're going to go ahead and wear a gatl. So if you say it the first time and say you're not being makabel all the time, then you don't have to be mataneder for whatever reasons it is. So over here also, by leaving the restrooms, it's Dav Shebekadusha. You do 3 times. So we allow you to do it 3 times even on Tisha B'Av. Because he says, since that's the normal fashion what he does. Because this halacha of washing your hands is not only a stringency vis-a-vis Tisha B'Av, but it's also a stringency vis-a-vis Yom Kippur, even though it's for 2 different reasons. On Tisha B'Av, it's a show of mourning. On Yom Kippur, it's a halacha. It says v'yinisim es nafsh sheisechem, and that tells you that one of the iners is washing. It's not a show of mourning in Yom Kippur, but it has the same practical halachas because the results, even though the reasonings are different, the results are the same. Now, even though it's not negated to Chutz La'aretz, there is something negated to washing for Eretz Yisrael. And it makes a difference. In Eretz Yisrael also, it depends if you're a Sephardi or if you're an Ashkenazi. Here in Chutz La'aretz, on Tisha B'Av, by Shachris, there's no Birchas Kahana. Right?
Right.
Even though by Sfardim, some of them do Birchas Kahana. Minig Eretz Yisrael, some people do with Birchas Kahana, even not by Sfardim. The Rebbe Zatzal, in Eretz Yisrael, I think he did do Birchas Kahana. And in Chutz La'aretz, he didn't do Birchas Kahana. I can still recall the Rebbe here telling me that I should do Birchas Kahana in Avelis, my mother. But if you're in Eretz Yisrael, you do Birchas Kahana. Some people. Ashkenazim, most Ashkenazim don't. But when you do Birchas Kahana in Eretz Yisrael, you do it not only by Shachris, by Tan Siva, but we do it by Mincha as well. And people go up to Duchen. They're Duchen in Chutz La'aretz. Just like if you go to Eretz Yisrael, you have Duchening in the morning. By a fast day, you have Duchening by Mincha as well. If it's some people say only for Mincha Tanah, we're not going into that right now. But if a Kohen goes to Duchen, he has to wash his hands. So what does he do about washing hands? It's that Kahanim or Oilim or Duchen. When the Kahanim go up to Duchen, and he says over here in brackets, B'Eretz Yisrael, B'Mincha. In Eretz Yisrael, it's by Mincha, because most traditions of Ashkenazim is not to do it in the morning. They also do it only until the knuckle. Until here, they can do it the whole way. But in the morning, if you do it, you only do it until the knuckle. If you go up by Mincha and you're going to be doing it till here, until, how would you call this? The wrist. Until the wrist, you don't have to make him till Siddha. Okay, one more halacha. What happens if you go to a levaya? And after you go to a funeral service and you're by a mace, you're supposed to wash your hands after. So what do you do about that type of a circumstance? So it says, Mi she'ishtate b'halavayis hameis. If someone takes part in going to a funeral, on Tisha B'Av, yesh lehitel yodav achakach. Then you wash your hands. Now he doesn't explain how far you have to wash your hands.
That's just a minute when you go to
what?
That's just a minute washing.
Yeah, that's what he says. Well, the Shul says the kol mishishtat bo vayis hameis chayv v'nitz yadayim v'afilu lo nichts v'kech hachet l'shameis nimshesham. You won't see he didn't go into the room. That's what we do. However, the Aruch HaShulchan says dafkim hayetet daled amis, only if it's daled amis. Now. So even though it's a minig to a certain extent, we take it on as a chayva, and we will wash our hands. We've had funerals here on Tisha B'Av. Recall, I don't know if you recall, remember Rabbi Phil Cohen? His what? Feivel Cohen? Trav Feivel Cohen? He was nift on a Friday. They didn't have a chance to do the Levai because he was going to Eretz Yisrael. So they had the funeral on Sunday. And they took him to Eretz Yisrael, and Sunday was Tisha B'Av. It wasn't really Tisha B'Av, it was Asar B'Av because it was a Nidcha. So he passed away on Ches Av. Talking about a story 40 years ago. But that was a large funeral here in Boston. Okay, we'll continue this next time. Rabbanani ben Akash and spoke with Halachos Yisrael. The figure here will be Torah mitzvahs. Shenema Adoyne Chofetz L'Man Sivkoi Yagol